This this video is a brief introduction to a book that I wrote about 20 years ago. The title of the book is When Darkness Turns to Light, Creating an Artificial Visual System. And that's what the book is about. It's about a group of people who have a friend that goes blind, and they make an attempt at building an artificial visual system with an interface with the occipital lobe using pulsed electromagnetic fields. When I wrote the book 20 years ago, there were not very many people doing or even thinking about interfacing with the occipital lobe. I got nowhere trying to sell the book. I couldn't even get anybody to read it. A few people read it here and there. Over the years, I've published it several times and had no effect at all on the world. No one was interested. However, now, 20 years later, a company called Second Sight, and their station, I think their main office is in California, they have produced a cortical prosthetic device that they have implanted onto a person who's blind, onto their occipital lobe, and the person is able to see spots of light when the electrodes, it's an array of electrodes, when the electrodes are stimulated. So that gives me credibility that I can actually publish this book again, which I've done on Amazon.com as a Kindle book. And I've published it, and I am going to try to advertise it a little bit. And I think I have a right to do that now without being mocked or touted. I think that the book might sell at this point because people are starting to take interest in a lot of brain stuff. There are all kinds of neurochips and implants being done now. And so it's becoming a more of a common occurrence. So that's what I'm doing. I'm publishing the book. The Second Sight has also a retinal implant device they call the Argus, and they've been doing that for several years now, and I think they've probably done at least more than 200 implants at this point worldwide. And so they're having success with that and giving people with certain types of diseases like retinitis pigmentosa and macular degeneration, they're giving those people some type of sight which they have lost due to those diseases. At least the retinal implant will do the same thing that the cortical implant does, and that is produce an array of spots of light, which they call phosphogenes. And at least the person will be trained to recognize different types of patterns with those arrays of spots of light, so that they can see shapes and people, etc., in front of them, and that will give them some type of sight, which is a whole lot better than nothing. I know spots of light doesn't thrill too many people, but if it's all you've got, then that's probably really nice. Anyway, my book is about developing this type of a system and understand, but you have to understand the visual system first, and I go into great detail about how the human visual system works. I go into detail about how the nervous system develops and how the eye develops, and embryonically, and explain how the nervous system works in the human being. It does get very involved in many instances, and it's pretty tough biology to get through. You can read the book at several different levels. You could read it just as a story. It's about a group of people fly fishing on the San Juan River in northern New Mexico. That's where this person starts to lose their sight. And that's what the setting is. And it is, you can read it as a story, and you can skip all the biology if you want to. Or you can read through the book once or twice or whatever and get the story and just pick up the biology as you go along, a little at a time. You don't have to try to read the whole thing and all the biology all at the same time to understand it. It probably would be better to go through and get an idea of what the book is about, and then go back and delve into the biology. So I am going to stop at this point because I want to show you the book on Amazon.com, and then I'm going to show you the book as it appears on the Kindle app. I just want to make sure that you get an idea of what's inside the book and how to navigate. I think probably almost everybody, I mean, I'm an old guy, so this is all new to me. Kindle books and etc. are, and they keep changing the app for Kindle books, and it gets better and better all the time. And they did a really good job. Amazon did. And the book has a lot of drawings in it, and I had trouble in the past trying to get my book into the Kindle form, into their format, so that I could publish it there. However, right now during the past few years, they developed a textbook creator software, and I downloaded that, and I used that to convert my book from PDF or Word, whatever I had it in, into the Kindle format, and it did a great job. And the drawings are not distorted at all, and everything went really well. So shout out to them for doing a really good job on that textbook creator. I know that, yeah, it's nice to have a textbook as an electronic book that you can carry around with you. Textbooks weigh 20 pounds, some of them. So anyway, that's a big advantage for people if they want to buy a textbook in electronic form. So, but anyway, I'm going to stop there because I want to do those things, and I'll be producing more videos probably to explain some of the stuff in the book, some of the technical stuff, because it does get very involved. And I want to say more about Second Sight, who is producing this cortical prosthesis, and see how they develop. It's very innovative and the first of the kind, I think. And I'm pretty happy that they've made this much progress in the short time that I've published my book. Like I say, well, I published it 20 years ago, but you have to understand, I didn't think that it would ever get to this point in technology. I didn't think that anyone would ever get to the point where they were actually putting in a prosthetic device on the occipital lobe cortex. And that's a major step. That's a major advancement. And if you didn't study it or you didn't get involved with it, then you probably wouldn't realize it, and probably aren't aware of it. But it is a huge step, and I thought that I would be dead before that happened. I was going to try to publish my book one more time before I died, and then I was going to leave it to heirs or whatever to keep track of it to see if anything ever happened. But something happened, and so I have the opportunity to start talking about my book on YouTube, and I'm excited about that. I'm sure you can tell. So anyway, that's all I'm going to say. We'll stop right here. Okay, so this is how the book appears on Amazon.com. It's When Darkness Turns to Light. It's got a nice sunset on it. And when you do a search on Amazon.com in the Kindle book section, I think you go into Kindle ebooks and then type in When Darkness Turns to Light and search. The book will pop up here in this format. Then you double click on the cover, and it should bring you, it brings you to the description of the book. Title, description, larger version of the cover. On the right hand side of this display, there is a little blurb here, send a free sample, and so you can get a free sample, the first 8 pages, I think, of the first chapter, and so you can at least read part of it before you buy it, and that's about it. This is what it's all about, and there is a pretty good description there, and you can read more. but I do have, from this um, introduction, I'm going to go into I'm going to show you the book on my Kindle, on the Kindle app on my iMac, and I'll be able to open the book and show you the insides of the book. And I think that's all that I wanted to say about this. Yeah, and then so the next little segment will show you the book as a Kindle book on my iMac, and we'll stop there. Okay, so this is how the book appears on my iMac on the Kindle app. It comes up with a title, and it's in the Kindle app, and in the upper right hand corner of the Kindle app you can do turn pages one at a time, whatever, go through and get to the table of contents, and then you can go anywhere from there. Some of these are, when I first wrote the book, I put all this in hypertext links. Some of them work, some of them do not work. You don't really have to use it. The hypertext links, there are ways to get around this very quickly using just the apparatus of the Kindle application. So at the bottom of the screen, down on the very bottom, I don't know if you can see the mouse going down to the bottom left-hand corner. You see a little blue line, and you can click on that, the end of that blue line, and you can go anywhere in the book just by dragging it to the right. You can go anywhere into the book. And I wanted to show you drawings in the back, because it will help you to use these drawings to understand the lectures that I give in the book. And so you go back, and the first drawing I think is the early embryonic development, #1, and then you can go up to the upper right hand corner of the screen and then click on the page. You can go through all the different drawings that I have, and do that first before you even start reading the book, so that you have an idea where the drawings are and what they are. Then I've got a glossary, and it's an extensive glossary, and so you can go through the glossary, and it will describe to you a lot of the words and things that you might not have a definition of, might not know what they are, but that'll give you a few things. And I have an article that I wrote about trout vision, just because it's very interesting, what their vision, how they see, etc. I have more definitions, and then I have an extensive bibliography. Almost everything in this book is documented. I went to a medical library and pulled out all kinds of articles, about 110 references, and that will help if you get stuck on something, if you want to dig out an article or whatever and find out more about what was in that article. You should be able to dig that out of it'll be in a medical library probably. And gee whiz, I wrote the book 20 years ago, so a lot of that stuff is archived someplace probably, and you might have to use who knows what, microfilm, or they have it on computer disks, or I'm not sure how the libraries do it, but anyway, that would be information that you would have to get from a librarian at a medical library. Like I say, most of those journals are medical in nature. And then you can take and move that blue line all the way back to the beginning, and you get back to page 1, the cover. That's about all I wanted to say. I wanted you to see the insides of the book. And I think that I mentioned that you can read probably the first 7 or 8 pages of the book online. You get a free sample. They'll download that to you before you buy the book. But that's what you're getting in the book. Is this book is half it's half novel and half textbook. It's pretty involved as far as biology is concerned, but I think you can understand it if you take your time in reading it. And I'm going to put out more videos. I'm going to try to go through all the lectures um, uh, on the screen, try to explain everything to you as a lecture, so that yes, if you read it through and you don't understand anything, then maybe if I go through it verbally and going through the pictures, then maybe it will help you to understand what I'm trying to say in the book. And so I think that's about it. And like I say, I will be giving lectures on most of the stuff about the biology in separate videos, and get that done so that it will help you to understand what it is that I'm trying to say. And so we'll stop right there, and hopefully you'll be interested enough in the book and in the subject matter to buy the book and to read the book and to get yourself a decent overview of the human visual system. All righty, thank you very much for watching.